Hey everyone, I just thought I'd do a video today on Dolores Cannon. I know many of you are already familiar with her work because I've either watched your videos on her or we've discussed her in the comments, most notably about her theories through her research, decades and decades of research on the transition from 3D Earth into 5D Earth, or the planetary shift, as some are calling it. And I recently found out that Wikipedia has deleted all articles on Dolores Cannon, and it's very hard to find the page, so I'll drop a link here where people are discussing why did you delete her and don't delete her. That's, a serious form of censorship. They not only removed all reference to Dolores, but they also removed all reference to Ozark Mountain Publishers. And they have quite a few artists who delve very deep into human spirituality, what it means to be spirit in matter, basically human, right here, 3D Earth. So my family and I were re-watching the Maze Runner movies because the new one's coming out this week, and we wanted to see the last in the series and refresh our memories on them. And they keep making reference to Wicked. Wicked is the name of the organization that keeps taking these special children and basically torturing them to use them for a vaccine or virus. I won't say more than that because I don't want to do any spoilers here. And their motto is wicked is good. But the teenagers know instinctively that wicked is not good. And it's interesting because in the movies, they're actually practicing current satanic ruling elite sigil magic or chaos magic, which is where you think something, you say something, then you write it down, which kind of makes it a contract between you and the universe. And they remove all the vowels and just leave the consonants. And then they either empower that energetically and destroy it, or they hide it somewhere. So, you're talking occult, dark magic, spells, which comes from the root word of spelling. How we teach our children how to spell in spelling is very much the same as how the ruling elites secretly use their sigil or word magic. So I noticed in the movie they had removed the vowels and it was just the consonants of wicked. So this is all happening this week. I discover Wikipedia, which also has the root wicked in it, has removed Dolores Cannon, trying to erase her from history, like the Egyptians who used to chisel off the names of great kings and queens, hoping that somehow that would erase them from history as well. Well, hey, Wikipedia, that didn't work for the Egyptians, so it's not going to work for you. You're not going to be able to erase this amazing woman's body of work. Even though they keep people like Hay House and Louise Hay and people like that in Wikipedia, because those publishing companies and authors are basically skimming the surface of deep mystical spirituality. So Wikipedia is okay with that. They'll leave them in. But if it gets too serious and gets a little too deep, boom, they remove them. They delete them. They press the delete button, which is kind of like a modern chisel on stone, right? And on the radio, driving, I hear a news story, and I didn't get to write it down, so I don't have the source, that Amazon, which is trying to gobble up everything that can possibly be sold, including Whole Foods, I'm sure they'll move on into other areas as well, so that they can become the New World Order, one store. You buy everything from one place, and one group or one person controls all the prices. So as Amazon's gobbling up Whole Foods, which is kind of sad, but Whole Foods was off of its original mission to bring people organic, healthy food anyway. They had already started replacing a lot of the organic lines with non-organic lines and slipping in the non-GMO, which means contains some GMO, because none of them will use GMO-free, because then legally they have to present a product free of GMOs. So Whole Foods was already on the slippery slope, getting away from its mission statement when it was created before Amazon bought it out. And now, apparently, according to this radio news report, Amazon is putting out its own food line. And what's the name of the food? Wicked. That's right. I don't know if they have any vowels in their name or not, but I'll tell you this. I would not put anything wicked in my mouth ever. So I know everybody listening here who subs to this channel is extremely evolved and spiritually and emotionally developed. So none of you guys are going to go out and buy wicked food either, I'm sure. But there were so many things happening with the word wicked, from the Maze Runner movie to Wikipedia, which also has the wicked in its root, to Amazon producing wicked food happening within the last 3 days, that it just reminded me of how we are all taught to spell. We're not taught to cast spells, that's saved for the very, very highest echelons of the darkest ruling elite. But we all spell, and they present us with the words and the spelling in their movies and their books and their products. So we actually suffer the consequences of their spelling. I'll give you some examples. Television. You break down the word into its syllables and see what each syllable says. And in television, you have tell, lie, and vision. And what has television become? Lying the lie in the vision. By watching television, you're absorbing the lies that go into it. What's another one? A positive one. Atonement. Everybody wishes to reach atonement in their life, which is at one mint. You become at one with people. You can also go further and become one with animals. You can become one with the earth. You can become one with God. That is reaching atonement at one mint. So now you see how the spells in spelling work. So I thought about Dolores Cannon being erased by wicked Wikipedia. And I thought, well, a lot of people know about Dolores Cannon, but maybe they haven't had the time to read her books or watch the many, many videos of Dolores Cannon on YouTube here. So I'm going to share some of my favorites. And I haven't read all of her books. There's over 20. My favorites are the series that include Custodians of the Earth, The 3 Waves of Volunteers, and The Secret Knowledge. That is I think a 4-book if you add the one about abduction, alien abduction. And the other information I like from Dolores Cannon's work is The Convoluted Universe, where she really goes into quantum physics and energy. For those of you who don't know much about Dolores Cannon's background and where she got this amazing information, about 40-50 years ago, she and her husband were hypnotherapists, and they started to do regressions, past life hypnotherapy. And she was interested in crop circles, and that led her to the claims of some of her clients about alien abduction. So she and her husband started practicing hypnotherapy regression on people who thought they had been abducted to find out what happened, what's in their mind, what's hidden deep that they no longer remember. And it was through this process of hypnotizing thousands and thousands of people that she kept coming across the SC, is what she calls it, the subconscious. And I think it was the superconscious that she was tapping into, something much, much higher. But still, that's apples and oranges. It's the same thing. It's a fruit that we're talking about here. So she started talking to the SC, and she felt that the SC had a great deal of knowledge that the person didn't actually know or didn't remember knowing. And she found that it was the same SC in every person that she was tapping into, which brings us back to the atonement and the one-ment of humanity and the one-ment of life, if you will, where we share something in our subconscious or our superconscious that unites us all, which then takes us into the Mandela effect and how the collective superconscious of humanity or the collective subconscious of humanity can change matter around it. One of the really great things about Dolores was that she was very grandmotherly to everybody. And when you listened to her speak or read her words, it just made you feel better. There was some comfort in her words, that things were going to turn out okay and that things were getting better. Personally, I think she would have been amazed at how much of an awakening is occurring now if she was still here. And maybe she is. Maybe she's seeing it somehow, because we don't know what to call it anymore, because New Age has been vilified as a cult, and spirituality has been vilified as talking to demons or spirits. So basically, we're just the truthers. We seek truth, and when we find it, we wish to share it. And that includes people that have also been called working in the conspiracy theories, etc., etc. They're trying to help with the awakening as well. And she always left you feeling good that we were on the right track and we were moving in the right direction and everything was going to be okay. And I think that's important now, especially with all the chaos around us with the Great Awakening. I think it's the Quantum Awakening, as Shane from Unbiased and On the Fence originally called it. And I agree that that's what we're in the midst of. And that's the name of our movement. We are in a quantum awakening where we are waking up to who we are, our relationship to the universe, our relationship to each other, and our relationship to God. And the dark ones, the ruling elite, cabal, shadow government, deep state, whatever you want to call them, they have to do everything in secret. And it's because they know that the sleeping giant, which is the masses of decent, good people, the sleeping giant is waking up. And when the sleeping giant awakens, it will no longer allow them to do what they are doing in terms of negativity and darkness, control, manipulation, greed, and oppression. That will no longer be allowed. That will be stopped. And it's amazing how quickly so many of us are waking up to the fact that this is happening and has been happening for a very long time. The secret manipulation is not such a big secret anymore. I mean, even mainstream media is starting to report on it. Trey Gowdy this week said on Fox News that there was a secret society that was manipulating the American election and the American government. Well, you know, us truthers, we've known for a long time about that secret society or cabal, Illuminati, deep state, shadow government. But I'd never seen it referenced on mainstream media before. They're not very powerful. They think they are, even if they practice satanic worship and spells and stuff like that. That's desperate people who feel powerless, trying to empower themselves by doing things on the outside that they think will then make them powerful on the inside, when in reality, all power starts within. And you project it from inside of yourself into the outward world or the material world around you. They've got it all backwards. And I think they're figuring this out. And when you expose them and what they're doing to build up their power, which is so dark and completely unacceptable, they run and hide. They disappear very, very quickly out of fear. Because in the history of humankind, there are two things that we need more than anything else. All humans desire love above all else. And after love, we desire freedom. And when enough humans find out that they're not actually free, that they are being secretly manipulated and controlled, they do something about it. They always have. If you read a little bit on history and how the great supposed civilizations fell, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Egyptian Empire, when the ruling elite get just a little bit too greedy and too negative and start to harm people, the people being harmed eventually band together, rise up, and put an end to it. So that's kind of where we are now. We're just starting to feel that perhaps our ruling elite in our current civilization is also extremely greedy and manipulative and dark. So we know where that's going to lead to, don't we? Back on to Dolores Cannon. I've just pulled together a few of my favorite books and a few of my favorite video clips. I hope you enjoy them.
All the information I've written about, it comes through my clients. It doesn't come through me. One of the main lessons you come to Earth to learn is how to manipulate energy. Everything is energy. And you come to Earth to learn how to manipulate that, to be a master manifester. So once you learn how to manipulate energy, you can have anything you want. Nothing is impossible. They say there are no limitations except the limitations you put upon yourself. First, you have to know what you want. And a lot of people say, well, I need this, I want this. Those are the wrong words. In creating your reality, if you say, I need, I want, well, see, you're creating a lack. And you're putting it off by, I want it. No, the wording is, I have it. And you got to believe it. And it's the law of the universe called the law of abundance, the law of attraction. You can have anything you want once you know what it is. And that's what I do. I just say, okay, guys, this is the next project, do it. And it happens, now everything is happening so fast. Used to take months to get something. Now it'll happen in a matter of days, in a matter of hours, and they say even second by second. Once you have put it out there, the main goal, the objective, you have to be able to visualize that goal too, what you really want, and be able to fill it full of a lot of details. This makes it become real. But once you put it out there, then people say, okay, now how am I going to do it? Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about, I have to do this and this and this to attain that goal. Because then you're limiting them. It'll happen in ways you can't possibly imagine. Ways you would never ever think about. It just occurs. That's why we say we sit back and watch the magic. People are always asking me, they say in their session, I want to know where I'm from. So we're all from the same place. And they want to know, well, what about my home? I said, it's all the same place. They think of a home planet or something like that. That's not what it's about. It's all us. We all came from the source, from God, and that's where we all began. And when they're there, it is so full of love, and it's all this togetherness that they don't want to leave. I asked them, well, why did you leave? It was so beautiful. I know they left because I'm talking to a body that's laying on the bed. Why did you leave? And they all say the same thing. We heard the call. We heard the call, Earth is in trouble. Will you go and help? So the first wave are the ones that had the most trouble. But these are the ones who don't want to be here. They're very unhappy. They have good families, they have jobs, but they don't want to be here. They don't like it. They want to go home. They don't know where home is, but they know it's not here. They don't like the violence, they don't understand it. But the second wave, I found, would be in their 20s, 30s, maybe some over into the 40s. And when I'm doing them, they said they are called antennas, generators. They're here just to generate positive energy to affect everyone else. And those kind of people can walk through a crowded mall or a store, and their energy will affect anyone that is there. But their energy is supposed to be generated to affect other people. And I've had people come and say, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? And the second wave, they'll usually say, you're just to be. And they don't like that when they wake up. They say, but I wanted to be doing something. But the irony of it is that a lot of the second wavers don't like people. And they don't want to be around them. Their energy bothers them. A lot of the second wavers, some of the first and the second do get married. But a lot of them don't want to. And the second wave especially, they don't want to have children. Because they said having children creates karma. And they don't want to make any more karma. They want to do what they're supposed to do and get out of here. So many of them don't want children, and they work from their home. The second wavers do, so they keep away from people. But they're very gentle, loving people. And I asked them one time, well, why did the first wave have such a hard time? And they said, somebody has to be the beginning. Somebody has to be the one that creates the path, the way shower. And they started, and then the others, the second wave, followed. The third wave are the children. And some of them now are in their teens. But these are the hope of the world. They're the gift of the world. They're here to really make a difference. Well, they have come in with all of their genetics, everything is in place because they are a totally new species. So what I was told to tell people, the teachers and the parents, is to give these kids challenges. But the other kids are doing the other stuff. Take these kids aside, maybe give them a special project, a paper to write, or something different that will challenge their minds. They're putting the world into this new world, the new earth, because we're headed toward a wonderful time. So many wonderful things are happening. So these new children have a part in it. We have spent so many years destroying this planet with the overpopulation and the ecology and what we are doing to the earth itself, that it's getting to the point that it can't handle it anymore. So it was decided, I guess you would say, by the powers that be, one way to change all of this is to develop a new earth, a totally different earth that is pure and beautiful beyond description. Now, how do we do that? I've been told that we're moving into it now. We've been doing it for the last 2 or 3 years. We're moving into this now. We're leaving the old earth, and the earth is separating. We're going to be going into a totally different dimension by raising the frequencies and vibrations of the earth. It will shift into a new dimension. And this is the greatest show on earth, because they said all the beings and all the universes are watching, because this has never happened to in any universe anywhere, that an entire planet will shift into a new dimension. And when this happens, it's like two earths, as though they split. The old earth is left behind with all the negativity and all the chaos. And the new earth separates, and it will be totally new and beautiful. Now, those who have raised the vibrations and frequencies of their bodies will shift into the new earth. And a lot of this is happening right now. A lot of people are feeling this in their bodies because they are having physical symptoms they can't explain. This is happening as the body shifts and changes the vibrations and frequencies of the body. The frequencies can't be changed immediately because it would be too damaging to the body. The body couldn't handle it. It would die. So it has to be done in steps, slowly. Those who are ready, those who are open to this, are the ones who will be going into the new earth by raising the frequencies and vibrations of their body. They have to be willing to learn and to be open to these things. Some of the symptoms that I've been told is depression, heart palpitations, high blood pressure, joint aches and pains, muscle aches and pains. And the people go to the doctor, and the doctor said he can't find anything wrong. Of course, they put them on pills, but they can't find anything wrong. All it is the body is adjusting as it's moving into the different frequencies. And it's going to affect it. It will go on for a little while, and then it will level off. And it'll be okay for a while, and then it'll do it again. The older people are the ones that are having the most physical problems because their bodies are having more problems adjusting to the changing in the frequency. The people in the middle are not having as much. The children, it's not affecting them hardly at all because they've already come in with their frequency changed and the DNA has already been changed. It's the other population that's having difficulty shifting and adjusting to these things. But the body, the DNA is definitely changing. We're told to watch our diets because they want to stay away from heavy red meats. We have to eat food that is lighter because we have to raise the body, make it lighter to shift into this other dimension. And by holding it back by eating heavy foods, we're keeping it from progressing. People are noticing that they don't want these things anymore. The ideal diet is live foods, which means fresh fruits and vegetables. And they said eventually we're going to be going into liquid diets as the body becomes lighter until whenever we cross over into this new world, at first we will have a physical body and then we will turn into pure light, but that can take quite a while. But the ones who will not be going on will be left with the old earth, are those that are caught up in negativity and don't want to change. They will stay with what they have created. The other ones won't, because they don't want to be in that density, that negativity anymore. But those will stay with what they have created. If they have karma that has to be repaid, they will have to stay there to repay it. After they die, they will not be allowed to come back to the earth again, because the earth will have changed too much. They will be sent to other planets where there is still negativity, so they can work out the remaining karma. But it doesn't matter, because eventually we'll all get there anyhow. But at this point, there is a separation taking place as the two worlds separate. It's just like in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, where it says those will be left behind. It talks about the new heaven and the new earth. This is what it's talking about. And those that are left behind are the ones who are not ready. They can't change their vibration and frequency that quickly. It has to be happen gradually. You've got to be in it now to move forward. I think even if they realize it's going to be too late, they have to be working on it now at this point. And you're not supposed to go out and try to change anyone. Those who are already enlightened, they're already advanced, they realize what happens, what's happening now, they're already there. You don't have to worry about it. The other ones that are so deep into negativity, we're not going to be able to make a difference anyway. They have to find their own way. We're not supposed to convert anyone. It's the ones in the middle that are not sure which way they want to jump. Those are the ones we have to reach, the ones we have to talk to about that things are happening, things are changing, and we're moving into this totally new world. Annie Kirkwood, who wrote the Mary's Message to the World, I was at a conference with her one time, and she talked about having a vision of this happening. And I think it's very significant. She saw the world as a ball. And then she saw the world begin to pull apart and divide the way a cell divides. It began to pull apart and divide. And then it broke apart to where there were two earths. Over here, in this one, she heard them saying, "We did it, we did it, we did it." Over here, she heard them saying, "Poor thing, she died believing all that." So the one will not be aware of the other. That's what they mean in the Bible by those left behind. They say two people will be working in a field and one is taken and one is left. Two people are sleeping together and one is taken and one is left. That's what it means in the Bible. We won't even be aware that anything has occurred. But you make the decision which way you're going to go. And it's happening now. There's no way we can reverse it. Because they said it's the only way to save the earth is to create a totally new earth and move into it. Man has destroyed civilizations down through time. And each time, it's usually with the bad use of their mind, the misuse of the powers of their mind. And each time, they'd start all over again from the beginning and create a totally new civilization, a new world. They said there's no longer time for that. We can't do it. We can't waste that time. So this is part of the developing of our psychic powers, bringing that back, changing this because we're going to carry it on instead of destroying the world and starting all over again. The old world, Earth will be the one that has the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the volcanic eruptions, all of the wars. That will be left with the old Earth because it's working out its karma. It's trying to get rid of all of this. And those people that are involved with that are those that have to be in that type of atmosphere, what they created. But the rest who want to move on will separate and go into a totally new Earth that is beautiful. This is what's happening right now. That's why we're having all this chaos and problems right now as the two try to decide and separate and shift. So it's a very important time we're in right now. And there's many souls that are coming in right now to be here for it. They volunteered to come. The call went out throughout the universe, volunteers to come and help. They have to be souls that are pure, that have not known violence, have no karma to repay, to come in and help raise the consciousness of those who are here. And these people don't know they're one of these. I find it out in my work. But they have no idea on the conscious level they are one of these who has volunteered to come and to use their energy to help raise the consciousness of the world. And I've been told it's working, because now the positive is beginning to overshadow the negative. And we are moving into a new world, and it's beyond anything you can expect. But it's too late to turn back now. It's in the process, and it is happening.